Hey, truth seekers. I'm gonna make this video kind of video diary style. It's something that's just on my mind that I'm struggling right now with the idea. Obviously, things change from moment to moment, day to day, but I'm really struggling with essentially where does personal autonomy, going no contact, being okay being alone, and understanding codependency and not being unhealthily attached to somebody, or picking someone because of the trauma bond, and basically I'm struggling with loneliness. Where is, again, I'm doing the thought spiral of what's the point of doing anything if you don't have anyone to share it with? And there's no guarantee that someone's going to come into your life. We'll talk to people, boomers, and tell them how bad I screwed up my life and I'll never find anyone. And they're like, oh, eventually, it'll be when your last time, when you're not looking for them, they'll come. The world is different, so I'm not lowering my standard again. I'm not going to jump into anything, but also when you have no one, it's sometimes you can. I feel like I can gain strength within myself and visualization, using music and just from moment to moment, certain times I can go there and I could be fulfilled within my own self, within my own ideas, within my own goals. But then, like right now, I'm not feeling very motivated to do anything. I'm not feeling like very hopeful. I'm just trying to share a vulnerable moment here with anyone who's watching this. I mean, this is why I do these videos. I don't have anything else. I don't have anyone at all. I am paranoid of even making friends now. I am back and forth every single day about every time I talk about my last relationship. I go, did I ruin it? God, it was unhealthy. Thank God I'm out of there. And it's like, it's absolutely, although I've got a lot better, it historically has made me go insane, and now I feel like I just am a tractor beam of trauma. People see me, and that's definitely real. Like, the most vulnerable among us are the predators fucking come in at you. It's I saw it when I was at my weakest. Just random gay guys would be fucking hitting on me and disrespecting the living shit out of me and stuff, and like oh, look at this lonely guy, maybe we'll like stuff like that. And like I think I'm getting better. I'm not giving off as much of that, but I also again, where does the line of, I guess it the more time passes, the better, I guess, but it does make it hard sometimes to, on one hand, it's like, God, it's like strength, like you don't have to worry about anyone else, you just do you, and anything I want to do, whenever I want to do it, I can do it. But that little codependency creeps in still, and I go, wow, my entire life I have like worked out, made money, busted my ass, and I've done it for them. Like, it wasn't for me, and it's so hard for me to do anything for me. And I being how I was raised, and being how how I've surrounded myself, who's been in my life, being the scapegoat, whatever, when your worldview and your view of yourself and your view of healthy, like what you consider, what is normal to you. Like for me, for example, I it's so ingrained. It's hard for me to do anything for myself. And I think it only got worse with his last relationship, and I don't know, maybe I think I just maybe went a little too hard in the gym, and I gotta stop talking about the past. And someone asked me at the cafe, how am I doing? I'd shared him a lot of my story recently, or like months ago, and I had to bring up the ex. I had to bring up all that drama, and I'm done. I keep telling myself to never talking about it again, and I bring it up. There's that Peterson thing. Is if it's a memory more than 18 months old, then you need to grow the hell up and stop going back there, or someone's playing the tyrant to you, and it could even be you. It's been close to 18 months, so I'm hoping. It's only been like a year, so maybe I could give myself some more credit. But I think it's a thin line between venting and working out the stuff with people and talking about it and getting neutral opinions and feeling the empathy and the connection with human beings that actually have empathy, that actually are listening to you, and that line between that and perpetuating the traumatic event and feeling feelings again, feeling bad feelings about it, then I don't know. I think I've talked about it enough. Again, when you say something negative, or you think something negative, it's 5 times stronger than a positive thing. And then if you do the same thing, and if you verbalize it, it's like way more powerful. And I think once I think it, I need to stop thinking about it. I need to move on to something else. I can keep talking about the psychology stuff. I can talk about whatever. And yeah, part of me thinks, if I'm making these videos, am I at risk of continuing to hurt myself by reliving traumatic events and taking this a little too seriously and not being my, which I liked, the version of myself I liked the best, which was the kind of immature and, fun-loving, chaotic kind of fun and jokester type guy. And, I don't know. And then that's another thing. What part of that was just immaturity and not growing up. So, I think I can keep doing these videos as long as it's like helping somebody, and it helps me. And I gotta remember that maybe just talking to the world, a potential, public audience, like one person commented, I don't know if you're watching, but it's crazy that just one person saying something complimentary. I know there's gonna be a billion negative things eventually and stuff, and that's whatever, but it's amazing how little encouragement someone needs. And I think I'm doing the right thing. I think it's just I'm in a little bit of a slump after talking about some issues. And why am I looking at photos? I show the guy a photo of all the craziness, and I don't know. I'm struggling with, part of me is I want to do a accountability video and just say everything that happened, and another part of me is I think I'll inevitably come off as either a victim or wanting sympathy, or whatever my needs are at the time of making the video I'll come off the wrong way. So that makes me worried, and it would put me in an even worse social predicament. feel good. Yeah. I was at the gym. I was visualizing my goals, how I will attain them, and I don't care what anyone thinks. But then anybody who thinks that cares the most, and it's hard to separate not caring what people think when you're a person that needs people and yeah, and is also scared shitless of people now that there's a lot of untrustworthy people that you can't trust with your emotions that do not care about you. And yeah, I'm at this cafe talking from the heart, and just I'm a truthful person. I just say my stuff, and part of me thinks, wow, I probably should be doing that. Like that to the person who is a predator, or somebody who, I don't want to use the word predator, but a person who's capable of harming you and lacks empathy will inevitably use what they know about you against you. And that's a terrible notion for me. That's a whole change of who I am. Like, how do I come to terms with being who I am and being safe? I used to just think I could live, super honestly, just say whatever comes to my mind and be, an open person. And yeah, I think that I think of people in my life that keep things close to the chest and are more quiet, and I think part of that could just be temperament, but I think I think about my first girlfriend, and a lot of people that like I had been very badly hurt by someone. It's sad. It's sad that people can treat people. It's sad that people can treat each other like that, and it just can make you stuck. And I think about that old Norm Macdonald quote a lot. And it's he was a beautiful soul. He was what doesn't kill you actually makes you weaker and almost killed. I love that because it's such a cliche. You don't hear that way. You always hear whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But I guess that's the goal, is to try and use trauma and use whatever character you have as a superpower and use it for good, and use it for truth, and use it for helping others. But God, some days are brutal, man. I've never been so alone, so isolated. With lack of meaning, and trying to create something out of nothing with this channel, with just getting momentum, doing something good, staying busy. But I also struggle with that. Like, I take things to the extreme. I was at the gym, I went a little bit too hard, and with, what did I just say? The staying busy part. There's a big difference between staying busy and doing a whole bunch of shit to stay distracted from yourself and what you really want to do. And I struggle with that very, very much, a great deal. Look, I'm busy. That means I'm not thinking. That's not being attached to your work. That's not loving your work. Everyone struggles with that to a degree, but like, obviously, like, an example is hating your job, and then you're like, it can exacerbate being stuck in your life, right? And then if you put trauma on top of that, it's like, to what degree are you just, I'm talking maybe too broadly here, but I'll just say for myself, the worldview or the core belief of not being enough and not being worthy has definitely manifested in what I choose for work, and knowing what I've always wanted to do and never picking the right time to do it, not thinking it's the right time. And I'm personally somewhat proud of myself for at least doing this and being vulnerable and put myself out there, and I'm trying to find the power in being alone and having, no one. It's when you have nothing, you have nothing to lose kind of thing. That's a little hyperbole, obviously. I have a lot. I have a lot to be grateful for, but when it comes to other people, I've never been more closed off. Yeah. People are constantly hurting me, and constantly it seems like when I'm at my most vulnerable and I need you. Can you be there for me? Can you not cancel on me? Can you help me and answer my phone calls? Or and I feel like anytime I say that to someone, they go, nice. I'm gonna make sure I don't do that. It'll feel good. Whether it's envy, I don't know. Whatever the people feel, and they want to destroy me. And I've internalized that my whole life. I've only known dog eat dog, sink or swim. And I even try and flip that. I try and go, my whole life was always like, there's no one picking you up. There's no one coming to rescue you. And you can, it can make you, I really gaslight myself, was over aware of narcissism and this, and I just tell myself I convince myself I'm a narcissist, and I don't know where the line between being selfish because you need to focus, like I need to focus on myself, and being a narcissist and being like, as I'm filming myself, it's like, where's the line? And the last thing I want to do is perpetuate the family fucking system of just abuse and treating people like shit. I don't think I do that, but I have done it, and I keep going back into thinking, why am I doing this? Why am I special? Like, why am... And I know I have something to say. I have something I need to say. I have a message. I have all the shit I need to unload, and I have a lot of insights. I'm trying to learn to express them in a way that doesn't come off like I know everything, and I get very factual, and I understand how that comes off entitled and like a know-it-all, and that's my trauma. Facts. I need to know the answer. You're gaslit your entire life, and you're constantly walking on eggshells, and one moment this is the answer, the next moment no, now you're doing it wrong, and it's very, it makes it very hard to be a well-adjusted individual when you think you have a path and you think you're doing something right, and then these voices in your head tell you that now do this. Like, and I've had like 85 freaking jobs. Like, I can't. Those videos make me sound crazy because I kind of am, but I'm posting it, like I keep saying, because I need to see progress in myself. I need to put myself out there and see change potentially, and for myself I can see hopefully growth. Yeah, this is 2 cups of coffee and 25 milligrams of Adderall too, so for future self. And yeah, that's a whole nother can of worms. The drug that destroyed my life is also the drug that built my life. In other words, it keeps me moving, but that's it's a slippery slope between being efficient and being yourself. And where's the line between that? You know, the schizophrenic. Look at A Beautiful Mind. That was the first movie that really opened my mind to psychology. I loved that movie as a kid. I think it was 2000 I watched it, and I loved how that movie portrayed him, and how I loved the message. I just loved the concept. That's called the concept. And you talk about, you know, antipsychotics or certain medication. What's the degree of, you know, you being a well-adjusted person who can be a part of society and being yourself? You know, what if yourself is a freaking crazy fucking lunatic, and only on those off those meds can you create amazing art, but you're gonna be an asshole to people and freak out and make a scene in public or whatever. Like, whatever the thing is, you're gonna see shit and create. There's gonna be a lot of harm there, but the real you can't have everything. You have that great mind for art because of those things, because of the bad things, you know, whatever. Asperger's, ASD is probably the best example of that. Like, socially, you know, and I get really down on myself because I feel like I'm constantly misunderstood, and all I want to do is do the right thing and not and be accepted. You know, a lot of the times I struggle with that because I feel like I do everything to not be accepted, and yet that's all I want. But yeah, it's it's a struggle out there, and I think I've seen it, you know, communities that I once I never felt more welcomed by have now become closed off and you know, groupthink, and I think that hurts the left of the center people the most, because those are the people that create, you know, whether it's critical thinking or thinking outside the box with art. Every now and then you piss somebody off, or you say absolutely the wrong thing when that's not what you mean, because your brain is atypical, it's neurodivergent. You have, whether it's trauma or genetics, it's probably both. And those people need an outlet. And I think when people can't make mistakes, or aren't allowed to make mistakes, and are worried about getting canceled, or worried about offending someone, I think offending people is, and that's what today I struggle with the most. I'm like, I live my entire life like being kind of a contrarian and being kind of like, I poke people, but it was like, you know, I love prank shows. I love that, like that. I want to see who you are, like, and now I feel like that's, you make a video on YouTube of somebody, you know, slapping you when you're sleeping, that's like, you get banned because that's unconsensual. And like, there's all this, like, why is this okay and this is not okay? Like, there's so many things in society now that are not okay. My beliefs are like, all right, they're at least less okay than I don't know, like I said, fucking doing a prank or something, or saying something that is whatever. Like, politically incorrect. Everything's politically incorrect now. Why can't you say the worst shit in the world? Like, like, very rarely is somebody who says really bad shit like a bad person. Why is this like not pushed back against? This is where I literally can't live in this world, is where we have so many people that are covert and hiding and abusing the shit out of people, and people like me who all I want to do is yell at the top of a mountain my wrongs and how I'm learning from them and hoping someone can learn from me and being vulnerable, but I'm afraid to. Even still now, with nothing left, it's like I'm afraid. I'm like, what's the point? It's all going to be turned on me. It's so bad now. There's no move. I think the move is, I don't know. I think we've turned a corner. I don't want to be too nihilistic about it, but like I'm trying to. This is me getting in my own head, but it's just, I'm feeling a little stuck. I need to be around more people. I need to be around more love and people that are actually strong. And I think people have given up. There's too many people that drank the Kool-Aid of resentment. They resentment and no, there's no road to redemption. A lot of hate, a lot of hurt people hurting people, and now when the majority is that, it makes me want to flip the whole table over. I want to be, I constantly think of Gigi Allen. I'm like, say what you want about him, but like that guy there wasn't a fake bone in that guy's body. There's nothing fake about him. And you can argue about, that guy's mentally, he's mentally ill. He's abused, but it's like, that's punk rock. That's literally anti-status quo. And god damn, that's like the opposite of the world now. Like, there is no room for any, obviously that's like the absolute, like, it doesn't get any more politically incorrect than that. Talk about toxic masculinity. Maybe we can call that toxic masculinity. There you go. Anyway, I don't know. It just feels like nothing's real anymore. And even making this video, I'm like, I'm gonna try and flip it. I'm gonna go do some stuff in the house, but if anyone feels the same way, comment or whatever. But I'm gonna try and flip this around and moving forward, not talk so much about the past, and create my own path and try to use delusion as a superpower. In other words, I'm going to be delusional about what this world is, because I think it is fake. I think I'm not wrong about everything I'm seeing, because there is a hive mind and a cohesion within your community of whether it's resentment, negativity, jealousy. That's real, but our minds are only as strong, and our minds are only as real as what we allow in them. And the pathways that we create, we can make those trenches, we can fill those pathways up and create new ones. That's where prejudice and being stuck comes in and all that shit. Or we can choose to be comfortable. And when we're comfortable, we can be, it's funny, the most liberal people now are the most bigoted. There's no difference of thought, which is the whole point of that. That's not what I was raised with. And this is just my experience. It's the least forgiving and most resentful people claim to be liberal, and that's not there's so much of that where you're using words to manipulate people. You're calling yourself liberal and you're not liberal. You're not progressive. You are hurting people. You are judgmental. You are weak. And I'm sick of it. I was sick of it 7 years ago. It's only going to change if I need to pay attention to the right things. It's hard for me to like not see this though. I see something wrong, and this is why I couldn't ever be a therapist. I can't be. I will internalize that shit. I see it and then I obsess. I go, this is wrong, and this is why it's wrong. And it's hard when nobody, you know, it's hard when, yeah. It's hard when you don't really see the point of pointing it out. Like, it's almost like it's almost got to the point now. It's like just, yeah, I can't associate with anyone at all. I need to live my own little bubble. In a delusion that is based in, because there's delusion's a very broad word these days, because you can be delusional, like a delusional woman that's entitled and thinks, you know, they're gonna live forever and they're gonna be happy working all day every day and making money and having a delusional outlook of the world, and delusion in a way of, I mean, essentially delusion is just protecting yourself. Is you're dealing with reality. Your mind is protecting you from the truth. And now what is the truth? The world's become so ambiguous that I think it's important to create the truth for yourself, like as we all become fragmented individuals in our own little subgroups. The key is doing that without being tribal about it. And that's what's insane, because now when you do that, you become tribal. I'm at 32 minutes. I'm going to let the video stop here and stop being so tangential. But yeah, let me know if you guys got this far. If you're watching this far, thanks for hanging out, and tell me what you do for that to forge ahead in a positive way and not pay so much attention. I'd appreciate it. Catch you guys next time.